Yeah, how's the search for the husband working out?
Oh, I think we find him. And you know, it gets a little crazy there. So in the season opener, there's a lot of people jumping in and out of bed. I'll just say that, but I won't say who they are. But it was pretty fun to shoot. So.
I didn't jump in and out of bed. I wasn't jumping around. I just went to London. I did my job. I carried my gun, but I couldn't really carry a gun because I had to get, you know, some clearance to carry a gun, which was a James Bond gun, which was really a cool gun. It's a PK Weatherford gun, right? It was awesome. It was great. It came in this little box. I loved it. So then I got that, and then I met, you know, Inspector Pritchard. She was from Scotland Yard. She was fantastic. Very nice lady. And then we met the anthropologist, which was, you know, Brendan's kind of mirror. So we kind of mirrored each other, looked at them, and they did what we did. So it was kind of fun like that. And then they drove on the opposite end of the road. I couldn't get a decent cup of coffee. The pigeons had red eyes. I was freaking out. The walls were closing in on me. The ceiling was dropping. I didn't know where I was. It was a bad Pink Floyd episode. And then we had to do like computer scenes with the gang and the Squints back home. And we were in like some 300-year-old building. And it really smelled. It was bad. And I couldn't carry my gun. I'm a mess. And you're riding around in that little Mini. The Mini from 1972. And then, you know, I couldn't get out into the driving lane. I was trying. I was going back and forth. And Bones was irritating me. She kept yabbering in my ear. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to drive. It was crazy.
We went to Oxford. We were at Oxford, and I'm standing in Charles II's Parliament. I'm standing there, just overcome with emotion that our little show got us to Oxford. David comes up to me and says, "Man, what's the big deal with this place?"
It made no sense to me. And then the day before, we shot at some really cool church. It was huge. Big arches, Oxford, small, old, cargoes all over the place. Cobwebs. Where the hell was I? I was in Frankenstein's tomb. I'm like, where the hell am I? I haven't slept for 6 hours. 24 hours. And I gotta do a scene in some cobweb-ridden Frankenstein dungeon. Talking to Squints in a green screen. Back home on break. Oh, Jesus, I tell you, we need more water up here.
Do we have any Londoners in the crowd tonight? How you feeling?
So, this is going on the net,
All right, Oxford is going to be alerted to this. Awesome. There were a couple more storylines that sort of got ditched through all this great confusion, and one of them was the gravedigger, who's who managed to bury 2 of your cast members alive and face no repercussions.
We have to catch the gravedigger, or at least go after him next season. That'll be our... That was one of our best episodes, I think. Poor Hodgins and Brennan in the car while Booth led the Squints to catch them. What are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing, man. I just know. I remember that episode. We were running out of time. Because they were going to die in a car. And I remember he kept saying, we're running out of time. And I didn't have any answers. I got upset that I was running towards the car. And I pulled her out of the dirt, and we almost kissed. It was a beautiful moment.
And God help us, we have to meet Booth's family in season 4 as well.
Oh, that'd be fun.
There's more of them.
They live in London.
Originally, it was going to be that Brennan was going to work with a number of different law enforcement agents, the most important one being Booth. We were thinking somewhere around 13 out of the 22 or 24 episodes, about half the time, and that would be the one that she had feelings for. The head of our studio, Dana Walden, called and asked, we looked all over the place for a leading man. They're very rare, leading men. Dana called and said, would we consider David Boreanaz? And I said, well, I'll hire him right now. We'll take him right this instant. I'd seen enough of Buffy to know that he could be funny and charming and was a leading man. And that immediately changed us to having two leads in the show. And
well, it was interesting how the chemistry worked. I mean, because we originally were kind of sold on one girl, and it didn't work out. And she was great, but then we actually went in and read. And she was testing for the network, and it just kind of, it was funny because when we were doing the scene with her, Emily actually, you know, she stood up and she challenged Booth's character, which I gave a lot of props to, because at the time you really saw the sense of respect she had for herself as for her character, and was not going to sit back and take it from the kind of perspective that Booth was giving to her. And I thought that that was really impressive and really moving at the time, and obviously it moves people in the room, and that's where I remember going to the room and you guys were like, well, you know, this is it, this is the connection that we've been wanting to get, and it worked out to our benefit. That is something that you get, and then you have to kind of work at it and really try to find those moments again, and everything just kind of came together. Right, Barry?
It just worked. It's a very rare thing. You know when you've got it. Certainly everyone in the studio.
Right, Barry? I don't know.
Art's doing a good Barry.
Did you say right, Barry?
He did. No, he
was looking.
No, I said right, Gary.
It was.
Go ahead, Barry.
It was lucky. It was really fortunate. That's
what
all
I
I
was
can
going to
say.
say.
We were really fortunate because when we finished the pilot, we knew how great the chemistry was, and we've just built from there. There's no question. It's right there in the pilot, and it's right there from the first rehearsals.
But didn't Barry not want me as the character? And then you told me that?
No, Barry did not like you.
At all.
He said, I don't like that guy.
Not true. What's that?
Well, I like England.
Barry wanted Zach.
Sorry, I like England.
Well, I like England too.
You had that bias.
I was talking about my character not liking England, not me.
Okay, got it.